Hello. Hello and good morning. TV13A. Happy Thursday. Today's Thursday, May 21st, 2020. Beautiful day outside. Beautiful day in the world. I hope you're all well. We're going to roll pretty quickly into things because I have a very short itinerary for the day. There's one thing I want to review with you guys, and then we're going to free up some time towards the end of class to hopefully give you that opportunity to work on some stuff. Because my 2A did, and they have already told me that they're super grateful. So we'll give it another 30 seconds to see if people trickle in. Liv, hello. I hope you're well. Hope everything's good. That's hot. And I'm going to move quick because I want to make sure that there is an ample amount of time. Let me get my... Actually, let's hide that. Bring this up. Nope, not even that. Jeep. There it is. Cool. Okay. All right. So... people trickle in, they'll get caught up. The name of the game today is brevity because I want to try and give you some time to work on this assignment. As you know, with every video project that we do, I always have a reflective piece at the end. I always think it's a good idea to kind of sit back at the end of a project, end of a creative endeavor, end of any project that you're putting a lot of time and energy and effort into. It's always good to kind of breathe a little bit. And that's why I like our screening days, is because they give us an opportunity to do that while also watching everybody's work. And you can kind of see what you did compared to what they did and vice versa. And, hopefully pick up a few things that maybe you want to incorporate in your next video. But I also think that as a creative person, you need some time in between to make sure that you're mentally ready to jump into something else. And so reflecting is a good way to kind of think for a second after the initial high of having that project done or that creative endeavor done, and it's screened and it's recognized and it's praised or critiqued, to kind of then go, okay, let me think back to everything now that moment has passed and take a look at what I did and see what I can do better, see where I can improve, or in the case for our class project, do that, but also maybe voice some concerns or some issues that came up. And so the assignment that is posted on Classroom should be, as of now, all right, is a simple reflection. All right, it's 11 questions, but I'll get to the last one in a mo. I just wanted to run through this to give you a little bit more detail to the questions and hopefully help you as you're filling this out. So, of course, with every reflection I do, your honest feedback is super crucial. So don't think that there's a wrong way to answer one of these questions as far as telling me something that I don't want to hear, right? Now, the instructions say minimum 3 to 5 sentences. If you give me a one-word answer, that's the wrong way to answer. But if you're going to say, oh, no, Mr. Leonard, I didn't like this because X, Y, Z, and go on to explain why, that's perfectly fine. I would rather hear that from you than I don't feel like you need to tell me something that I want to hear. I would rather hear the honest truth from you guys. So just to move through this a little bit, all right. Question 1, what was the most difficult part? And just so you know, this is structured in the same fashion that our production cycle is structured. So this mirrors, first few questions are about ideas in pre-production, and then the shooting, and then the editing. So it kind of follows that template there. All right. So question 1, what was the most difficult part of conceiving an idea that would work within the 2 to 2.5 minute time frame? All right, I have no doubt that all of you folks have a plethora of skills you could have chosen for this assignment. Now, a lot of that is circumstantial, as, hey, what do we have access to? What are we around? What can we do? What can't we do? Where can we go? Things like that. And so within all of that, did you guys come across any issues in trying to find something that you know that you can demonstrate confidently, all right, that you enjoy doing, and that would fit that 2 to 2.5 minute time frame? All right, part of the challenge part of the kind of behind the scenes challenge of that time frame is that certain skills, all right, by definition, are going to take longer to explain. And is there a way that we can try and condense that down, or creatively come up with a solution to show something that would last maybe a half an hour and cut it down to the essentials that would fit within a 2 to 2.5 minute video. So I had a young lady in my 2A class last block. She did a demonstration on how to straighten her hair. And that process takes 30 minutes. So in order to start at the beginning, go through the whole process, and then show a final product, she had to do 30 minutes worth of work and then find a way to condense that down to 2.5 minutes. And she did that creatively, which is really great. So I'm wondering if you had any difficulties landing an idea because of the time limit. All right. Second question, was there anything you wanted to do for the video but couldn't because of the project requirements or constraints? All right, this pertains specifically to the things I was asking you to put in your project, right? On-camera presence, both for the demonstration and to address your audience. 7 uses of text, 15 required shots minimum, 5 required shot types, and the music, I think everyone didn't have a problem with. Were there any of those things that led you to say, oh, well, I don't want to do this, or I can't do this because I need to make sure that I have enough shots, right? Maybe the skill you want to choose is something very simple, and you're like, well, how do I make this into a 15-shot video if I'm just, I don't know, boiling water? Well, you can think creatively, but even then you might hit some roadblocks and say, okay, I can't do this idea. So I'm curious if those stipulations had forced you to change your opinion or your take on what you wanted to do. All right, question 3 doesn't exist for some reason. Question 4, apparently. How did you utilize your time on this project? Was class time dedicated to production days and editing days helpful for you in getting work done? So obviously the structure of our class over this project was a little bit different. I was still here streaming. Some of you checked in, some of you didn't. But I wanted to make sure that the constant for you was there, that I was here for you during our allotted class time. So there was never any question as to, okay, I'm going to work on this project now. How do I get in touch with Mr. Leonard? Well, if it's 11 o'clock on an A day, there was a link posted and I was here. And if we didn't come to that class, why? And is it because you felt comfortable doing things on your own? I want to know how you use this time, and be truthful. If you're like, oh, Mr. Leonard, I didn't do anything until the last 3 days. Okay, like I want to know that. 1, it might be reflected in the final work. 2, it might help me shape the project that or projects that we have coming up in the future. Question 5, did you utilize those production and post-production workdays for work on this project, or, as I was saying the whole time, to take care of work for other classes to free you up on this project, right? So maybe you didn't come to class because you're like, oh, well, I'm going to, do my math assignment so that way I don't have to do it later and I have more time then to shoot this video or to sit down and edit. Because it seemed like most people were hitting right around the 2 to 2.5 hour mark in WeVideo. I was able to kind of go in and see the average duration of people working on their project, and it was that's great. All right, and please don't feel bad if it's the latter. If you're like, oh no, I didn't come and I didn't utilize that time. Okay, but let me know that. I'm just kind of curious. All right, in those production or post-production days where it was a little bit more open, I was here for you. Did you utilize that time to get help from me? And if so, was that helpful? And if we didn't, why didn't we? This question is geared a little bit more towards the folks that didn't come to class, didn't capitalize on the availability that I was there for you guys to meet, talk, ask questions, but then emailed me like 15 times asking questions that I know I would have gone over in the live stream. So I'm just kind of curious, why didn't we come to those streams when that time was allocated to you? All right, from the start of the project, the 27th, 28th of April, and depending on the letter day, I forget which one was which. I think we were the 27th, to our due date, which was the 18th, the Monday. No, wait, you guys are behind. 28th and 19th. Did you feel there was too much time, not enough time, or just enough time to get the project done the way that you liked? And there's kind of a disclaimer in that. I mean, you can select, hey, Mr. Leonard, the amount of time on the project was perfect. Okay, great. You can say there was not enough time. But I want you to differentiate between there was not enough time because I actually didn't start working on the project until, the 15th. Okay, so you had 2.5 weeks and you chose the last 4 days to do that project. Okay, what was your reasoning behind that? All right, and how did it impact your work? All right, if there was not enough time or there was too much time, maybe you got the project done really early and then felt that there was not much for you to do after that. I want to hear that too, all right? Questions 8 and 9 refer to the project or the obstacles that you came across in your project. First one is non-tech. The second one is tech. So, for example, question 8, what were some of the non-tech related issues or obstacles you faced? This could be something really simple like, oh, I was going to, as Nick did in class. Nope, sorry, wrong class. My apologies. I'll just go back to my example. You know, I was going to sit down and make grilled cheese, but maybe someone in my house ate all the bread, and all of a sudden I'm going down to shoot my project, and I realize I don't have the ingredients I need. Like something that could have happened. Question 9 would be the tech-related obstacles. There's a lot of points of failure in this project, and it's very different than what we would have in class, whereas, hey, Mr. Leonard, Premiere's not opening. Hey, Mr. Leonard, my clips are offline. Hey, right, like there are a lot of things that I can quickly solve in class and get you back on track. Obviously, if we had some issues this time around, that process took a little bit longer. All right, there's also way more things that unfortunately could go wrong, and I want to hear if you had some issues with that, whether that was it was a pain in the butt to keep my phone charged, or my phone filled up and I had to shoot on a second day instead of just one day because I had to move stuff up to Google Drive, delete stuff on my phone, and make space. Did Google Drive or Google Classroom give you any issues? Was WeVideo causing some issues or hiccups? Be specific with that detail. Don't come in and say, oh, WeVideo didn't work, so I didn't do the project, because I need to know why or what happened or where the issue was. Because none of that is an excuse for not getting it done, but if it slowed you down or it caused a hindrance, I want to know so I can try and address that in the future. All right. Question 10 may seem like a simple yes or no question, but I want you to give it at least 60 seconds of thought. Did the project have value to you? And I think the initial response for any sort of work or project in school is to say, ugh, no, it's work. I have to do it. I don't really want to do it. So no, of course, if given the choice to do this or not do this, I would always choose not to do it. I think that if I put myself in your shoes, might be everyone's reaction all the time, right? Hey guys, do you want to do this homework or do you not want to do it? I don't want to do it. Okay. Now, obviously, that's not the best course of action long term, but what I want you to think about for this question is the factors outside of the actual like work part of it. All right, let's just accept the fact that in school work is there, it's present. Okay, it's not going away. But I tried to find something that, on my end, was open enough for everyone to be able to land on something that they felt that they can do, and then 2 was accessible enough that people had the means to make it. All right, and that's not an easy task. I'm really struggling with what's coming next because of those 2 factors. However, all right, value doesn't necessarily mean that you liked it, you didn't like it, you enjoyed it, you didn't enjoy it. I want you to look beyond the simple levels of it's a class assignment. I was hoping that through this, all right, one of the side effects is that you would be able to reflect inward and say, okay, let me think about things that I'm really good at. And I know that when I'm having a like really rough day or week, or I'm just kind of feeling down about some things, I immediately tend to gravitate towards stuff that I enjoy doing and that I know I'm good at, because part of the enjoyment comes from being good at it, right? Like I don't want to go take on something that I'm not good at, because then it's frustrating, and that frustrating then pairs with not feeling too good about myself, and I don't like that. So given where we are socially, all right, I thought it would be a good idea for you to kind of look inwards and say, okay, well, let's run down the list of things that I'm good at. All right, and hopefully through that, you made a longer list than you expected, or were able to latch onto something that you were able to take pride in. And that sense of pride, I'm hoping, came through in your video. And from what I saw in a lot of them so far, yeah, which is really great. And I think what's super special about having a skill set that a lot of people overlook is that being able to demonstrate or teach that skill set is a really rewarding thing to do. And so if you were able to kind of look in and say, oh, no, I'm good at this. Yeah, all right, I'm good at this. Let's do this. And now I'm going to show people how to do it the way that I know I'm really good at. All right, I'm hoping that maybe in some level that there was a like positivity boost here in getting this work done. And I'm hoping maybe that overshadowed the level of work, the amount of work, and things like that for the project. So really put some thought into this answer before we kind of jump to that instinct of, ugh, work is work, so no. Put some time into that. All right, and then lastly, 11 is kind of a free space. If there's anything you think I need to know about the project, your experience, or things that I can improve upon if I choose to do this project again, or things I can improve upon given our current circumstances and need to know heading into our next project or two, then put that there. I mean, that could be, hey, Mr. Leonard, everything's fine, no problem. That could be, hey, Mr. Leonard, my brother got sick for a week and the whole family was just kind of like on lockdown and shut down, and we didn't do much of anything other than worry for 7 days. Okay, like those things kind of give me some insight as to what I'm looking at when I see a final product and video turned in. So you can be as vague or as descriptive as you want. You can give me feedback. Hey, Mr. Leonard, you went through materials too quickly in the beginning of the project and I didn't understand things. If that's the case, let me know. All right. If you've got critiques from me, I'm more than happy to be open to that from you folks. So answer that however you feel you need to. Okay. But that's about it. So my goal in doing this, of course, like I said in the beginning, is it's always good to reflect once we have that moment after the crescendo of our project being completed. And so I wanted to stay true to that. I wanted to breathe a little bit before we get into some new material and then eventually our new project. And I also know we're heading into a longer weekend. So I won't see you guys until Tuesday of next week. All right, which is 5 days from now. So my point in keeping this class a little bit shorter, as I'm going to wrap up, is that you've got 41 minutes, okay, to get started on this. Now, the due date for this assignment, for the reflection, is technically not until the start of class on Tuesday. All right, so at 10:59 a.m. on Tuesday before class, this should be turned in. But I bet you can get it done in 15 minutes, and that's perfectly fine. I would rather you get it done in 15 minutes now and then avoid the oh crap moment on Monday when you realize, I got to do that reflection for Mr. Leonard, and now you're scrambling to get some work done for Tuesday's class. I would much rather give you the time now to work on it, feel like it's off your plate, so when we meet again on Tuesday, we're kind of coming in fresh, everything's in, and we can kind of move from like page one again. So I'm going to hang for a few minutes. If you guys have any questions, throw them in the chat. If you have questions later, you can email me. I've got a ton of video work to take care of today, so I will be around my computer most of the afternoon, unfortunately. But shoot me an email if you need to. All right, I'm going to bring my mic down for a sec. I'm going to sign off in about 2 minutes, so I'll hang for a bit if you got questions. Otherwise, get started on this. Why not get it out of the way? All right, and not let it linger over a weekend. You might have some other stuff that you have, so just take care of this. And then we'll get that grade in. As far as the video grades go, I've started. It's a long process, and I'm working it in between everything else that I got to take care of for the school. So know that it's just taking me a little bit longer. All right, those rubrics are fairly thorough, and they take about 15 minutes per person to do. And I've got like 100 of them. So all I'm saying is just bear with me, as they are taking a little bit longer. My B-Day classes had their projects in before you, so I'm starting with their stuff first, which I don't think it's ever happened because I normally always go 2A, 3A, 3B, 4B when doing work or grading work or projects. So I'm actually getting to their stuff first, which means yours will be on the tail end. So again, just being honest and forward so that you know what to expect, but they will get back to you as soon as possible. All right. Otherwise, gang, I'm going to wrap up here in a minute or two. So enjoy the afternoon, enjoy the long weekend. We'll see you on Tuesday. All right. Be happy, be healthy, be well. We'll just do that. All right. I'm going to sign off. See you guys. Enjoy your weekend. Talk to you later.